Well, here I am doing another one of these videos. Just remember, before I forget, to tell you that I'm on 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Savings Time, 7 o'clock Standard Time on Monday nights, live on this channel, YouTube. Um, just look me up, say hello. There's supposed to be a way you can write questions and whatnot, but I guess I have to have somebody watching it first before that'll happen. Um, Listen, this situation. I don't know how many of you know. I have an Asian American relative. I have a couple of them, but um, so I have a good feeling for what's going on with this violence towards them and everything else. And I'm fairly convinced that this is all Trump's fault. Going back to when he declared that when he tried to blame well, he was right in saying that yes, it did come out of China. But what happened after we identified it and everything falls squarely in his lap. I mean, he did nothing. You know, telling people to drink Lysol or bleach, taking some untried drug that didn't do any good, not supporting vaccinations at this time. And he just told people recently get the vaccination because he got it back in January without telling anybody. Everybody, all the other public officials, including Pence, his vice president, made a public spectacle of it. Not him. He doesn't care about you and me. And I don't care what you think of him or his policies or anything else. Let me be very, very, very clear. He does not care. Okay? I don't know whether he cares for his own family. He is a mega maniac. I mean, he's just... I can't explain it to you. I don't know the reasons behind this. Maybe that's the way he was brought up. Not to care about anybody. But I mean, he is responsible for, I don't want to say hundreds of thousands, but I will say thousands of deaths in this country and probably some other countries because world leaders took his approach, the same approach he took to this pandemic, which was do nothing. It'll go away. Don't worry about it. It took a while to get a vaccine. We have a vaccine now, and it may be, I don't know, it may or may not be, what's the term I want? I don't want to say too late. It could be too late. There's variants out there that are killing people at a much faster rate than the original virus, but that doesn't mean don't get the shot. Get the shot. Get both of them. And then see what happens. I mean, you'll be better off. I mean, I tell the story. I got before I left the United States, I got vaccinated for pneumonia. At that time I was over 62, so I only have to get it once for the rest of my life. It's 28 different strains of pneumonia that it protects you against, which I think might help if I do contract COVID. Right now I do everything to avoid it. I don't go anywhere. Not that I ever did. I'm not a big traveler down here. I'm really not. I've seen everything I want to see down here, and it's difficult to go with other people to see things because I'm interested in nature and they want to see buildings and art and stuff like that. And I'd rather see trees and plants and squirrels and deer and all kinds of animals. Which I can where I live. I walk across the street in the morning and I see all kinds. Finally saw a gray squirrel down here. Most of them are big red ones. This one was a little gray squirrel, and cute little thing. I might have been a pet because it came over to me. I have birds that go over to fly around and sit in front of Antonia. They like her. That's what that gets me going. I'm an introvert in a great many ways. The way I think and whatnot. I do my thinking when I'm alone. It's difficult for me to think in front of people because I start to formulate opinions of them and stuff like that, and that sort of disrupts the thinking process. You look at this guy. This son of a bitch ain't listening to me. Screw him. and I just go off on a tangent or something, which I do anyhow. My mind wanders a lot. I blame it on the fact that I don't get to talk to a lot of people on a regular basis. So I try to jam as much as I can into a conversation, and then you find out the conversation is all over the place. You watch a video of mine, you'll see what I'm talking about. Uh, but anyhow, getting back to this issue here with the Asian Americans, I mean, he's responsible for whatever happens to these, which is what's going on with these people now. Just like when, well, I think when World War II started, they imprisoned the Japanese Americans. I'm not sure, if they did that because they thought they were sympathizers or they wanted to try and protect them. And it could probably a little bit of both, because they were getting attacked left and right. They were getting killed, because people suspected them of being enemy agents. I don't know, if you were white, I guess they didn't care, but they're persecuted a lot. They don't, every time China does something, people get upset with them. Well, China's taking our jobs, so therefore all Asian Americans are scumbags. Well, sorry, but not all Asian Americans are Chinese. The Chinese built our railroads. The Chinese and the Irish built our railroads. Without them, we wouldn't have railroads going across the country. That doesn't mean anything to people. That's the thing. You forget what history has, to say about these people. So excuse me, God. So I don't know what that was all about. History has things to say about every people that's out there: the Irish, the Italians, the Jews, and the Chinese. And you have to look at the benefits that these people have brought to the country. And not, when you ask them what did they bring to the country, I go, well, Chinese food, man. I hate Chinese food. Okay? I mean, that's not me. All right? They invented pasta. That's a good thing. I'm not a rice eater. I get fed rice a lot. Rice does nothing for me. It goes and it sits there. It takes a long time to come back out again. You know what I mean? But I have nothing but love for the Chinese and the Japanese people. And my niece is Japanese American, and I don't know, my sister-in-law, I'm sorry she's gone, was a wonderful, warm person, loving. I liked her. I liked talking to her. I just didn't do it enough. That's me. I mean, I get a little. Oh, I can't do that. I don't have enough money, or I can't do that because I don't have enough time. It's my mistake, not anybody else's. I'll sit here and I'll be doing this conversation with you, and I'll flash back to a friend of mine. I just need to call my friend. Call him up. He's dead. I just, I'm just one of those people. I think everything's going to be there forever, and it's not. But anyhow, I don't know how you correct this problem. I was saying Trump has developed this cult of personality where people will go and listen to him and believe everything he says. Everything he says, and how do you send people to be deprogrammed? You can't send, 70 million people to be deprogrammed because they think this guy is some kind of genius. He's caused so much harm to this country and to the world, and to relationships in the world and whatnot. Not just with this country, but other countries with other countries. I mean, because there are people out there that see him and say, well, look at what he's doing. How he looks at Kim and Putin and says, oh wow, I liked what they're doing. We should be able to do that here. People look at him and go, wow, look at him. I could be like him. I can be a leader like him. Look, he's got all these people, jumping up and down at him. I don't know. I used to watch the rallies and whatnot, just to see what well, the clips that you would see on CNN. And either CNN kept playing the same clip, or a lot of those people that sat right behind him showed up at every rally. They were there, they were waving the flags, they were cheering. I mean, this is the cult of personality, and you want to see what a cult can do. And now, today, actually just a few minutes ago, I'm surprised, I should have started off with this, but he's developing his own social network that will be out there in 2 or 3 months, they say. I'm not sure somebody's going to put up a lot of money, because he's not going to pay for it. I can guarantee you that. Either he's going to take the money out of the super PAC, or he's going to do something. But if I was there, I'd be careful. I'd be worried about getting paid by him. That's the biggest problem with him, is getting paid. But you see that, and they're right. You will have tens of millions of people signing up for it, because they want to hear what he has to say. They miss the guidance. They're so I don't know, uninventive, uninventive is probably, but they don't have an imagination. They can't think for themselves. They need guidance, and because they think a certain way, and they need to have that way reinforced, and that's what he does. That's what causes all the problems. You have people that distrust the Chinese because of job statistics and everything. Everybody's saying, they're taking all our jobs. They take a lot of jobs. So does India. India took the whole call service business. Call up and ask for try to order something and get somebody that speaks English, 100% English. I mean, it depends on the company. There are companies that are that way, but for the most part, you're going to get somebody with an Indian or Pakistani accent, and what was there was a call center out for, I can't remember this stuff. They used to advertise in TV Guide. They used to advertise clothes and everything. They employed 8,000 people. And then all of a sudden, they sent the whole marketing scheme to China. 8,000 people out of work overnight. Now, I don't hear they have not outsourced it not to China, to Bangladesh. I don't hear a lot about that. When they talk about outsourcing jobs, they talk about the Chinese. Chinese come to America and work, pay taxes, right? So we're making some money off of them. Then they, like the Indians and Pakistanis and whatnot, stay here, basically illegally, because they just don't go home. Their visas expire and they don't go home. They continue to pay taxes. I don't know why we just don't grab them up, but they continue to pay taxes. How do they get a job? Well, that's something we're going to another day. But they're not taking your job. Machines are taking your job. Progress is taking your job. That's no reason to hate a person, though. I mean, that hate the government. Don't hate the people. Hate the company. Don't hate the people walking down the street, because they have nothing to do with it. They're just like you and me. They're trying to survive. They don't have any ulterior motive other than survival. So you don't have to. You shouldn't hate them. Don't hate them. Don't throw rocks at them. Don't attack them. Don't shoot them. You got a problem, go after the source. The source is the big companies. The source is the human resources, personnel managers, the bottom line people. They're the ones that are the government. They're the ones that are out there doing that. You're not. I mean, we hire security experts from other countries. Why is it that we aren't on the leading cutting edge of security? Especially cybersecurity. Why do we have to get? Why does it have to come from another country? I don't understand that. You have the two leading ones. You have Norton, which isn't. That's not in this country, and Karpinski, which isn't in this country. Those are cyber security companies. They're not in this country. Uh, Most of them aren't. If you looked at the show Scorpion, the guy that's a stupid show, but the premise was that this guy exists, and he was this genius person, and he's a top-notch security person. He doesn't live in the United States. He lives in Ireland. They don't live here. They don't work here. They don't contribute to anything to this country except to tell us what's wrong. Why aren't we the number one cybersecurity country in the world? And I don't mean that because we buy it from other countries, but because we develop that technology here. You're not going to have that. But again, that's no reason to hate an ethnic group. Okay? They're not taking your job. Your job is being given to them by a company who's looking for the bottom line. Okay? They want to get the job done cheaper. That's all it is. It's got nothing whatsoever to do with them. They're just trying to survive. They're not walking in line, standing in front of you, and with a better resume and getting the job. They're not even in this country for the most part. They're overseas. And the work goes overseas because it's cheaper. I don't know. I get frustrated when I start talking about this stuff. Look, I'm not feeling so great right now. I got an allergy I got this allergy. I'm saying it's from my masks. I hope it is. My eyes are all flaky and everything, which is probably, people will just say that's your personality coming out. But anyhow, listen, I will try to get back here more often, because I think the more often I do this, the less wandering my conversations will be, and maybe I can stay on topic a little better. Can't blame it all on age, All right, listen, you guys have a nice weekend. Ciao.